The shirt says it all. An armed society is a polite society. Not a truer statement was ever spoken. Good evening, YouTube. This is Kenny back with you. Wow, great weather here in Missouri. Finally seeing a little bit of hint of fall. Woke up this morning to low 50s. And we never made it out of the mid 70s today. Talking about 40s tonight. That's great. That pile of wood back there will soon be in use. I'm looking forward to it. Wanted to speak a little bit on being armed tonight. I see this argument a lot, and it's something that's been on my mind since we've talked a little bit on this channel about being concealed carry, being a sheepdog, and you know, that's one of your first steps of preparedness is being armed. And as always, the first thing I will suggest to you, if you are going to be armed, get some training. Missouri has, quote, constitutional carry, which it's really not. Many states do have true constitutional carry. You know, that's fine. Exercise your Second Amendment right and carry. But even if your state doesn't require training, get some. Get some training. And continue doing some training. Make sure that you know what you're doing with that weapon. Train with the weapon you're going to carry. Use it often. Get out and practice with it. But get some training. I even suggest something beyond the normal concealed carry class that most states offer. Get out there and get some hands-on combat training, some tactical training, some defensive tactics training, so that you will know how to react should, you know, God forbid the situation does arrive someday that you have to use that weapon. That training kicks in. So get that training. If you're in Missouri, central Missouri area especially, check out the guys at Armed Missouri, armedmissouri.com. You're not going to find any better training around this area. Those guys are awesome. I've taken some training from them, even as a police officer and someone who's been through a lot of firearms training. I learned some stuff from those guys. They're very knowledgeable. They know what they're doing. So take something like that. Now on to the subject that I wanted to talk about today. If you're carrying concealed, I hear a lot of people always ask the question, do I carry with one in the chamber? Well, let me ask you this question. Why are you carrying? Are you carrying to show off to your friends and family? Are you wanting to pretend you're a big shot because you're carrying a gun around? If that's your reason for carrying, then apparently you haven't thought it through. If you're carrying for the reason you should be carrying, which is to protect the life of yourself and your loved ones and others around you, and you're wanting to be a sheepdog, then carry with a round in the chamber. There's no reason on God's green earth that you should be carrying a weapon if you do not have a round in the chamber. When seconds count, and fractions of a second count, you're not going to take the time, you're not going to have the time to stop and get around in the chamber. It could mean, that little bitty fraction of a second could mean the matter between life and death. Do you want to take that chance? Do you want to give the bad guy the opportunity to shoot your wife, your girlfriend, your kid, you? So always, if you're carrying concealed, even if you're not carrying concealed, if you're open carry, which some people do, I personally don't like to do that. I don't like to advertise the fact that I'm armed. But if you're carrying, you know, we're talking about semi-automatic weapons. If you've got a revolver, of course, you don't have to, this doesn't apply to you, but if you're carrying a semi-automatic weapon, always carry around in the chamber. Well, I hear people say, oh, that's not safe. If it's not safe, then you're not trained, apparently, or you have an unsafe weapon. There's no reason to not carry one in the chamber. When life and death hangs on the balance, you want to have that weapon ready at a moment's notice. And that's all there is to that. Any firearms instructor, any concealed carry instructor will totally agree with that. And as a former police officer, I can tell you, I never once have carried a weapon without a round in the chamber, and I never will. That's all I have for you tonight, folks. Got a lot more videos coming up. We're going to talk here in the near future about some more medical stuff, antibiotics. I'm going to talk about guns in general, just give you some general ideas on what I feel are the ideal starter weapons to get if you're getting into preparedness. And what else do we have on the list? Water filters. I'm going to talk about water filters. I want to do a little comparison between LifeStraw and Sawyer Mini and some of the others. But in the meantime, watch the news, stay abreast of what's going on, be aware of your surroundings, get this stuff together, be prepared. And as always, I'll leave you with a question. Are you ready?